This is the Ontario police that are flying in circles around me, and they're following from the B Street intersection. So while I'm walking at the intersection over here, they're stalking. These are demons that are just openly engaging in what is focusing on me as I return to the city of Ontario. This is the entity that fully intends on being disbanded, and they're being joined by Fontana Police. They are. And this is the entity that's engaged in flying in circles around me. This is the P.O.C. And you're also going to pay attention to when I'm here on the side of the Open Family Community Library, the entity has the fake sun shining. And the Ontario police are on video stalking while the fake sun has remained at the Open Family Community Library while I'm aboard Omnitrans, the video that you just listened to via podcast and that you just viewed for today on the playlist that's disbanding these stalkers that are obsessed with me. And they're obsessed with stalking, which is not accomplishing anything. They're mad because they're going to prison, and they're also going to prison even longer because while they're going to prison for stalking, the federal judge that's going to sentence them, including the demon that's operating this helicopter, they're going to produce their identity to me. And they're going to prison for prolonged periods because of their obsession with stalking somebody that prosecuted them. In furtherance of harassing because you're going to prison, and they're going to prison longer. Okay, this is the entity. I just want to be clear. The entity has the fake sun over me at the Open Family Community Library, where it's remaining over me at the Fontana Lewis Library, where the entity like AGS is competing with the fake sun like Securitas is, those stalkers that are calling themselves security guards, while the entity is exposing all the people of the state who are all going to prison because the Ontario police are already prosecuted. So what is their purpose in stalking me by helicopter the moment that I get off of a bus in the first place when you're already convicted? Because they're demons who sit around masturbating because they're bitter while they're anticipating masturbating in prison. Okay, if not for the rest of their lives, but you're talking about for a prolonged period. They're going to be next to dead by the time they get out. This is the entity that's engaged in that. That's a black helicopter flying in circles around me, focusing on me. And the entity is doing that with the people of the state. Mule Car, Smokehouse, El Pacone. Look at these demons in here because they're engaged in criminal monitoring. These venues as well, these businesses, they're all engaged in state surveillance together. This is a community that's harassing just like Michael Dorsey in the city of Fontana, just like Darren Goodman when I'm in the city of San Bernardino. And the entities engaging in this pattern of conduct stalking with commercial planes. And Mike Lorenz and Alan D. Wapner, Michael Gherkin, these demons that are engaging in this flagrant means of prosecuting themselves at this point, when you're talking about what is just begging for to go to prison and lock and throw away the key, meaning you just don't want to get out because you're going to prison. They are going to federal prison. And this is the entity that's engaged in that level of what I find to be suicidal conduct. You really want to end it, and I'm going to be explicit because this is what the entity is doing, and this is speaking to what our demons these are losers. They are losers. You've been prosecuted on the internet. You're anticipating going to prison. They're going to be also impoverished. They're going broke. They're not keeping these companies. They're not keeping their positions, and they're not going to remain free. And the entity is merely using helicopters while the entity still has access to them, merely to harass me because I'm the one that accomplished that. This is at the Ontario Town Square, property that the government's not keeping. This is a waste of money and resources that's used for terrorism, which is a matter of documentation as well. Where the entity is engaging in this, and Paul Leon is very much aware of it. Paul Leon's going to prison while I'm subject to terrorism by helicopter in the city of Ontario, where he is a domestic terrorist, not a mayor. All right, and it's the same with Aquanetta Warren. And it's the same with every other gang stalker that's engaging in terrorism because they're not ignorant about what the city police are doing with the people of the state under things like a fake sun, where the entity is engaging in that blatant public nuisance of stalking by helicopter because I'm the one that prosecuted all of them. All right. And this is speaking to the entity that planned to murder me. And that includes Mike Lorenz. And he's going to prison for that. He is unapologetic in planning to murder me and trying to murder and still harassing and stalking me by helicopter, which he's fully aware of. Still spending a lot of money that he doesn't even have. They're in the deficit. Also regarding spending all the money that they were paid to keep me under surveillance. And they're paying it all back and they're going to prison. Poor. This is P.O.C. It is currently 6:35 p.m. What you're going to hone in on is because here. These demons right here with the fake suns going all around, and they've engaged in what is an ongoing provision of a body of evidence regarding repeatedly engaging in criminal summoning, engaging in what is kidnapping, engaging in what is harassment, engaging in what is criminal defamation. The demons at the Open Family Community Library, just like any other venue that engaged in kidnapping, but Open Family Community Library is engaged in what is years of criminal facilitation with the people of the state. 7 Frank Bob Thomas 703. This is an old demon that's stalking with the police department. Not traffic, surveillance. 7FBT 703 with the Marine Corps. Murderers that go into the military to get away with killing people. And this is why he's gang stalking me. He's a psychopath and he's a demon-possessed one. This is the Ontario Police Department's handiwork. Okay, they're not honorable. They're serial killers and they're vagina monitors, stalking on the roads and the highways. And there's a demon sitting next to him in the vehicle. They're psychos. This is the entity that's gang stalking together. This is the entity that's going to have no police department, no fire department. They're not going to have any, Paul Leon's not sitting in office, but they're not going to have any position. They're not going to have any retirement. This is P.O.C. This is the entity that's engaged in that because they're angry, merely angry because you are still going to prison. You're still going to prison, and all the companies gang stalk me with the city of Ontario. I'm prosecuting them as well. All right, this is P.O.C. It is currently 6:36 p.m. and the demons at the Ovid Family Community Library are going to prison, and they're going to prison with regard to what is mandated under federal law. All of the ways in which they've engaged in what is torture and harassment and waging false allegations, and including while I engage in what is another campaign documenting them throughout what is San Bernardino County, going to other cities, showing you how much of a liar the demons like Mickey and the demons like Abby and these gang stalking librarians. And guess what? They're going from stalking in a library around book stacks to going to federal prison. And they can sit around and think about and obsess over me all day long. This is P.O.C. because that's the reality. They're going to prison. I have them documented, gang stalking me for years. But these demons that forget about that video document, this evidence is going against these demons in here. They're going to prison. P.O.C. They're lying on me and engaging in harassment, and they're going to federal prison for it, right along with Mike LORENZ. P.O.C.